How bullying creates school shooters.
School shooting, school shooting, school shooting,
School shooting.
School shooting.
Colorado shooting.
Shooting at the high school.
We need to talk about why these school shootings keep on happening.
They say bullies are to blame.
May have been bullied.
If he had been bullied,
For describing him as an
Okay. Look, I understand people that have the need to end other people's lives probably didn't have the best life, but a lot of us got bullied. All right, let's be honest. A lot of us got roasted. A lot of us, had people pick at us at times we didn't want to be picked on. But the last thing we ever thought to ourselves was, yeah, let me go ahead and go on a 20 kill spree. To just blame it on bullying, it's crazy, bro.
outcast who is often bullied.
in 2025, there have already been 91 school shootings in the US.
No, that's not normal, bro. What? Y'all know that's a school shooting every third day, right? 1 in every 3 days is a school shooting. Yo, what's going on? And why is this normalized? Like, this shouldn't be normalized, bro.
But very few people actually discuss why so many people are committing these crimes. According to the United States Secret Services, 80% of school shooters are bully victims. But how does bullying turn people into school shooters? To understand why, we need to discuss this problem.
Yo, real talk, have y'all ever thought to like shoot up a school? Like, let's just say you got roasted for real and you ain't like it. No, right? So it's like, I'm 100% against bullying. I think bullying is a terrible thing, right? I'm not gonna condone it. And I was never a bully. I was one of those kids where I'm not the aggressor, bro. I'm like, if you come at me, I'm gonna come at you. That's how it works. If you're cool with me, I'm not gonna clown you. I'm not gonna pick on you, nothing. I'm only defending myself. But I think a lot of times you gotta understand kids are gonna be kids. I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying people do grow up and they change.
In a way that no other YouTuber is willing to do. In this video, we're going to analyze this problem by understanding what these kids had to go through to want to commit a school shooting. That way, we can spread awareness on preventing school shootings. Pretty much every school shooter
I'm just looking at his face. Y'all telling me this man is not like a Roblox character? Like, he looks easy to draw, bro. I don't know if that makes sense. You see, maybe I'm part of the problem.
is a word that I cannot see on YouTube. According to the National Institute of Justice, 92% of K-12 shooters are like this. These are people who feel that they
Y'all telling me this is not the same dude who bullied his toys? Bro, if you wasn't picking on Woody and Buzz, bro, nobody would have picked on you, bro.
have nothing to live for.
That darkness that I've been staring at for so long, I just ran headlong into it. I had nothing left to live for. I literally had nothing to lose. And when you have nothing to lose, you can do anything. And that is a terrifying thought.
But what is causing so many of these students to wish they weren't alive? It's time to talk about how our school system is at fault for bullying and school shootings. American schools claim to have zero tolerance policy.
That is a lie. I can be honest, this is the biggest lie told. Because whenever kids get bullied, teachers are gonna listen to it one ear out the other. Oh, what? You called him black? Oh, you said he's so dark nobody could see him when the lights are turned off? I didn't hear anything. But y'all wanna start hearing things when a kid is having a side chat over a topic that doesn't matter. We could be watching a YouTube video and I can tell my bro what's up. And now y'all wanna hear when I'm talking in the smallest voice I can. But when someone screams on the other side calling someone chop, y'all don't wanna say anything.
For bullying. But anyone who's actually been to a public high school in the US will know that's BS. In American schools, unless you have direct video evidence that you were bullied by a certain individual, schools will do little to nothing about it. You can't simply just walk up to a teacher or principal and tell them that you're getting bullied, because personal anecdotes mean nothing to them. And even if there is sufficient evidence,
That's true. No, that's really true though. Like, let's say I actually went up to the principal or the counselor and I was like, yo, bro, this kid's not been treating me right. 9 times out of 10, they're just gonna put that kid and be like, yo, we received a report that you're bullying kids. They're not even gonna say who. Well, they shouldn't, but they're gonna just be like, could you stop doing this? They're not even gonna really punish, bro, unless they see it themselves. So it's kind of useless.
schools still aren't able to do much. Students who get caught bullying are usually suspended
Yo, can we use another stock image? If I saw myself as a stock image and someone was calling me a bully and causing a school shooting, I'd feel a little bad too, bro.
for a few days, and that's it. There's also a passive bystander culture in America. Students rarely step in to stop bullying. In fact, many students actually enjoy seeing the torment and suffering of one of their fellow students.
Do y'all, be honest, do y'all like seeing another kid get bullied? If I see a friendly roast session, I might chuckle. He's like, ah, he called him a cinnamon stick, ha ha ha, whatever. But of course, I'm also like see if they're both exchanging roast at each other. If I see a kid literally distraught or sad that he's getting bullied, bro, I'm not laughing at that. That's weird.
Many laughing, recording videos, and putting it onto social media. This is also a big factor to what creates
Social media? If you're bullying kids publicly on social media, you're actually a loser. Usually it happens in like group chats, but if you're taking it to Instagram, like a story or like a Snapchat public story, you're actually weird.
school shooters. For those who have never experienced this before, it's something you need to go to an American high school yourself to understand. Teenagers love drama. They love
Okay. I have never seen a kid getting bullied like this. Have y'all? Not saying it doesn't exist. It definitely does exist. But all I can tell you is my son will not be pushed against a locker room where another kid is recording him. That's all I'm gonna say.
exciting events to spice up their lives. Just watch any school fight video and you'll see just how much they love watching violence. Another problem is that oftentimes the bullying victim is punished just as harshly as the bully, if not more. When a
I disagree. The bullying victim is treated the same as the bully. I'm gonna only say the victim gets treated the same only if he retaliates. And that's bad. If someone is fighting me and I decide to myself, hell no, I'm not gonna let you beat me up. I'm gonna beat your ass too. I shouldn't get in trouble.
victim is defending themselves against their bullies, school faculty will have a very hard time understanding who is the bully and who is the bully victim. So what ends up happening is both are punished. And if the victim's self-defense surpasses the initial bullying, the victim actually receives the harsher punishment. This is the
That's true. Bro, if a kid is beating me up and then I just somehow suplex and I beat the hell out of him for all the things he's been doing to me, there's no way I should get in trouble for that. Like, how do y'all think you should approach someone fighting you? Do you expect me to just sit on my chair and then just get socked and then just not respond? Just push them away? No, bro. You gotta retaliate.
culture that so many American teenagers have to go through. And this is the culture that creates school shooters. People attack you, hurt you, and if you resist, you are deemed as the problem, and you are the one who is punished. This is the reason why so many shooters feel rejected, alone, and like their lives don't matter. Because that's what society has shown them. Their fellow peers don't care. Their teachers don't care. Their school
Look, I understand. Don't bully kids because they might turn into school shooters, but don't expect me to ever empathize with school shooters. And I hope that's not what the theme of this video is trying to create. Because for you to be a school shooter, you have to be deeply troubled. Like, I mean, I don't think it's starting at school. I think it's starting at home. Like, I think your parents are really bad people. You're actually ingesting terrible material. I don't think it's necessarily just people bullying you. I think it's much worse.
doesn't care. Their parents don't care. I'm not trying to sympathize with these school shooters. I'm simply trying to explain why these things happen. There's still a lot of problems to unpack here. So now, let's analyze some real school shooters and their backstories. Evan Ramsey, the kid who committed the Bethel High School shooting, wrote this in his diary. I want people, the world, or maybe just Bethel, to know how cruel the world is, or can be. The main reason I did this is because I'm sick and tired of being treated this way every day.
People would call me I'm stupid. Him and his friends would throw wads of toilet paper at me.
Yeah, bullies like that, bro, y'all are weird. Don't get me wrong, insults are bad. If your bullying turns into like physical harm, you're a terrible shit person. There's no reason why you should ever pick someone to the point where you're ever actually like hurting them.
And they thought that was hilarious.
Evan Ramsey wanted others to feel the way that he felt. He wanted to feel important. Nicholas Cruz
I don't think that's the way to do it though, bro. Matter of fact, people are gonna hate you even more. I don't think the way you feel important is by ending other people's lives. Yo, this man's face is so chopped. I hate this man so much. If I ever see this dude, I'm hitting his ass with the meanest like uppercut. I swear to God. Yo, this is a TOS ass face right here.
committed the Parkland shooting. In his own video recording, he said,
From the wrath of my power, they will know who I am. My life is nothing and meaningless. I live a lone life, live in seclusion and solitude. With the power of my AR, you will all know who I am.
Power of my error. Y'all will know in approximately 58 seconds. I will go on there, and then according to my calculations, Tuesday is where the attendance is the best and not a lot of absences in class. A little bit of tardies, but we should make up for that with the amount of rounds that I have in this book. Shut your ass up. You're a loser, bro. Okay, I'm not condoning the bullying of anyone, but I'm just saying this man is a terrible shit person.
throughout all his years, he was constantly reminded about how nobody cared about him. His female friend gave this information to the media. He said he was pushed around and beat up sometimes.
Like, that's weird. You should never beat anyone up, bro. You gotta be a weirdo to beat people up. Stop. Keep your hands to yourself. Yo, if someone actually tried hitting me, I'd be like, yo, am I living in a simulation? I'd be damned if someone just hit me for no reason in the name of bullying. Bro, I'm gonna be like, what's wrong with you?
Another friend of Nicholas Cruz described him as an outcast. I could read you a lot more stories, but to keep it short,
Y'all telling me this doesn't look like Asmongold? Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this is literally him young, bro. Yo, this man's face is literally nightmare fuel. He's the one that ended the elementary school, right? Bro, they should have got the firing squad on you. You're so lucky you went the easy way out.
There's a consistent pattern throughout all these stories about a desire to feel important. A lot of school shooters show signs of narcissistic personality disorder. But narcissism in itself is not enough to explain why school shootings happen. These shooters want to feel important because they've all been socially rejected.
That is the worst way to feel important. Bro, if you want to feel important, be important by good things. You don't want everyone to just literally hate you. I'm pretty sure a lot of them regret it after they do it. I don't know, but I'm assuming majority of the time school shooters actually are done with their plan. They're kind of like, damn, why did I do that?
Social rejection is one of the most painful human emotions, and studies find that it can be catastrophic to physical health. Of course, there are many other factors that can contribute to school shootings. A big one is toxic parents and families. Mental illness is also commonly brought up. But out of all these factors, bullying is by far the #1 reason. There's a reason why teenage shooters consistently choose their schools as a target. Mass shootings can happen anywhere. Shopping malls, public parks, churches. Schools are actually significantly more difficult to commit these acts, as there is more security and schools are trained in dealing with these scenarios. Yet these teenage shooters still consistently choose their schools as their target.
I think it's because they know it's like a more like shocker thing. I know now schools probably have more police, but there is no reason why there's not more police just roaming the school. I deadass think people should have like a police officer just kind of roaming the halls close to where everything is at.
Toxic parents and mental illness are the biggest factors. That would mean that teenage shooters would take their anger out onto any public area. But how often is it that you hear a story about a teenager shooting up a mall or a park? These shooters aren't just seeking destruction. Their hatred stems from the way they were treated in school, and that's where they find their revenge.
I don't know, bro. I feel like if I was to ever get my revenge on someone, and let me know if y'all agree, my revenge has to be on that person. I'm not gonna take my anger out on everyone else. If I was to get my revenge, it has to be on them specifically, bro.
Mental illness is the most consistently brought up factor to why school shootings happen. And although they are a factor to consider, it's nowhere near as influential as politicians and the media claim.
Mass shootings that have been linked to mental illness.
That individuals with mental illness do not touch a gun.
We got to deal with mental illness.
But this is also a mental illness problem.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I agree it is, I feel like mental illness is such a cop-out for these situations. Now, granted, yes, 9 times out of 10, it probably is. Because no mentally sane person is gonna end a school. But it's like, when we reduce it to that, I feel like we take away from what the problems are. Kids having guns.
Yes, a large chunk of school shooters have mental illness. A study by the Violence Project reports that 70% of school shooters have a mental health history. But you have to remember, the term mental health history is being used very broadly here. This includes disorders that aren't linked with violence, such as ADHD, OCD, or anxiety. We all
Anxiety, keep on trying me. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety. My bad. What I meant to say is, do any of y'all have that?
personally know plenty of people with mental illness and mental disorders. Can you imagine any of them committing a school shooting?
No.
These aren't dangerous
The amount of people that I know that have ADHD, the only thing that reflected it was their grades, nothing else.
people. They are just as likely to be intelligent and empathetic. And research shows that people with mental illness are not more likely to be violent than the general public.
So obviously it's something else.
So we can't just use mental illness as the main reason for why school shootings
Yeah,
happen.
I feel like, bro, if I was mentally ill, I'd be more like depressed. Like I would want to be more to myself than actually take my pain on the real world.
Bullying is the most clear, logical explanation to school shootings. In fact, you'd be surprised how many regular high school students carry guns. A nationwide
Yo, any of y'all own guns? Be real.
survey from 2019 of over 13,000 high schoolers found that 4.4% of students have carried a gun in the last 12 months. 4.4%. And this is not because of mental illness, not because of toxic parents. When adjusted for gender, grade level, age, and race, students who are bullied on school property are 83% more likely to carry guns than non-bullied students. So many students are carrying guns because of bullying. That means students are carrying
What happened to these, bro? That's the wrong with this generation, bro. Forget the guns. Use these, bro. Once you resort to guns, it's kind of like, the whole situation is just messed.
assault rifles to schools, also because of bullying.
Anyways, YouTube, that is how bullying creates school shooters. So next time you feel like bullying someone, just know they might actually end up your school. So don't bully kids, okay? Be nice to one another. And if you're thinking about shooting up a school, don't. I promise you life gets better when you grow up, all right? If you're in high school and you're getting bullied, I promise you high school does not matter. Trust me, when you graduate high school, you're gonna look back at it like, wow, this did not matter in the grand scheme of my life at all. Trust me, please just get through it and then you're gonna have the life you want, all right? Make sure you guys like, subscribe, join us on Twitch, road to 1 million subs. Love y'all, man. Waxer for life. Love y'all.